Everyone, welcome to Build Coders. And here where we are going to merge what you all have learned in your classes, in your tutorials, from website, from documents like HTML, CSS, JavaScript to real world hands-on going programming. Yes, we are gonna to make rock paper scissor project like you have never seen before. Now, to make before means to make this process, to make this project. So before starting it, many questions may have arisen in your mind. The some of the questions were like, can I able to make this project means effectively? Like how I made means when I am also starting this project for the first time, I also have a first doubt that can I able to make this project effectively? Can I able to do or I can I able to run this project how I wanted to be? Or just like how it's showing on my screen. It's a basic doubt. You don't have to be worry on that. It will run. Let me show you how it gonna to run at the end when you just look at it. Let me first reset the score. Now, for example, if I click a button over here, it will take inputs and all that things. We will look at it definitely. This is the computer move. It is also a random move, and similarly, we can able to enjoyly we play with that. You can also have a functionality of autoplay. Now, while building functionality of autoplay, it require advanced functions of JavaScript. I will definitely teach you what I assume to be the advance and what I assume that you people may not have known of that. So I will teach you the autoplay functions in detail. But expect means what I expect is that you know HTML, that you know CSS, and that you know JavaScript at a basic level. In JavaScript, you must know how to run loops, how to use if-else statement, how to use arrays, how to use add event listeners, how to use event delegations, how to use local storage, how to manage with CSS your JavaScript, how to manage your HTML with JavaScript. And obviously, if you know JS, then you may probably also able to know how to run your HTML CSS. Though CSS don't have major part in this project, but yes, JavaScript and HTML are the main blocks of it. So before starting, there are three main parts. At the end of the video you will definitely know how to work on big projects like this. Though this code base when you write at the end is pretty much not as big as the projects you have seen, but it will give you the glance at how the small projects just got merged to form a bigger version. I will also share some images and data of these thumb, of these, what I can say, the palm, the fingers, which you have to store in your data. You can get all these images from the description. Also, I can say that while teaching, I will tell you what mistakes I had done and what you don't have to do. And professionally, how to code all these things, how to start from basic, what things you have to keep in mind. I will definitely tell that. Now, what I want you that how would you look at this video? When you are watching this video, don't just look at a bare eye, means just looking at it, staring at it. No, don't do that. It will not definitely help you. What I want you to do is use some other screen or use split screen, use your brain, means just have another screen in which you can able to watch the video. I want you to also code these on your VS Code editor just like how I am doing on my code editor. Similarly, in that way, it's not copying, it's what understanding, it's by learning by looking. So you will able to learn the things by looking it. So I want you to do all that things. This will definitely help you. Don't make notes, don't need it. You need to write the code by handy what you see. Whenever you face the issue, you have AI agents and many things. You can also able to comment in the comment section. You also able to reach out through my mail ID and many more things. But you have to solve it. You don't have to be lazy that I will do it later. That is the worst thing that anyone can do. So let's start building project from the very basic thing. So let's move to our VS working on our project. I am using over here VS Code editor. You can also able to use any other editor of your choice, but I suggest to use VS Code. Now I made a folder name RPS over here. In this folder, I am going to make a file for HTML. So let me name the file as index.html. We also need a CSS file, so let it be style.css, and a JavaScript file, so we can say it as script.js. So this much thing you have to do for right now. Along with that, you also have to get that images and all that thing, though we don't need it right now, but I recommend you to store it. For that we will make another file. Let's say it as images, not file. Let me say for that we will make a folder, because there may be more than one images. In that images folder we are going to store all that three images which I have showed to you. And in this so in this way you have to store these three images, like paper for a rock and scissors image. This you can find it in a description. So after moving that, we can go with HTML and start writing with our first code, that is nothing but a basic boilerplate code. To get, we have to do shift plus one, that is exclamation, and you get a emit abbreviation. Just click enter, you will get a basic code of it. Now, three things always before writing anything in HTML is, first you have to write your CSS. Means you have to link your CSS with HTML code, and also to link your JavaScript with your HTML code. So let me do with that. Now I am linking. I hope you all may know this. Style sheet and relation is style dot, I made a mistake here. It comes style dot css, right? And in relation we get it as nothing but style sheet. So this how we gonna to work over here. Similarly for script, we gonna to do this, where you have to write source. In source you gonna to write script.js, and that what it will be. Now once you done this, now where we have to merge, or I can say make the things much more interesting. Now what I'm trying to say is, let's see. Here we can see that a text written for rock paper scissor. There are three button tag like this and this, right? And also you can see win, losses, toss, ties. Just don't focus on this right now. And another two button for reset score and autoplay. So let's first start from basic. Now we will just go to over here in body tag. Let me just write a simple paragraph tag over here, and let me give it a class. Always let, because it's a title, so let me give it a class name title, and let the title be rock paper and scissors. So to view it, let me go through live server, and you can see that on a blank screen of paper something like this has appear over here, right? Now let's move to our project, means our VS code once again. So now we have done that. We want all our buttons to come over here. So let me show you which button I am talking about. I'm talking about these three buttons. So let me just go with that. So let my button be over here, and right now just close that button. We want such buttons like three of them, right? So let it be three button. Let me create. I know that we can copy paste, but let it be. Now let me give every button a special type of on-click functionalities, right? We know that there is no text in this button. Here there is no text. What is there over here? Means what I'm trying to say is something like this. You don't see any type of text in this button. What you see is a image, right? So you don't have to write anything over here. You have to add image. Now how would you add image over here? So we can write image source, and what would be the image source? We have to go into the folder. Now let me say the first button will be of rock. So I will click rock. That means that image I have to integrate it with. And again, everything must have a class. So let me give it a move icon, means let me give a class be move icon. So this is how the same thing we would work for, we can say for paper and for scissor, right? So let me just make the code much more easier. So we have to just paste it over here and change the minute details inside it. For example, the class would be same for all three of them because all three of them are nothing but move icon. And second image is of paper, third image is of Caesar, right? So you have worked this much of it. Now what? Now here I comes with some of your JavaScript. What I want is that when you click on this button, what would happen? There's some functionality should occur. So I will add a attribute over here of JavaScript that is on click. I know that it's better to write such functionalities with add event listener, but being a beginner and being assuming that the people over here are also beginner, I will suggest people to use on click function to make this project much more simpler. So I have used on-click functional. On-click functional is similar to add event listener click functionality, which you are using. Just simply in you can write on-click functional in HTML code itself. Just like you are writing CSS in HTML, instead of making new style sheet, it's similar to that you can able to integrate your HTML with JavaScript without means explicitly letting it down. So by clicking means on click, it's like click. When you click the button, what would happen? So when I click a button, let me assume that we make a function named play game or any of your choice, but let me assume that we made a function named play game, and we are gonna to means use that function, right? So play game, and means I want rock to be specific over there. Now what is happening over here, we will soon understand. Again, I want to tell you one thing, that while watching the video many things may got above your head, but it will soon link to it. Now why I have written play game? Because I want some function to run over it. And why I have written rock? Because I want to tell that my move is rock. You can assume it for like this for now. Similarly, we will do that for paper, right? Similarly we will do that for paper. So yep, so for paper also we must have a function name play game, and in that I will write paper. Again, the same thing for, we can say, scissors also. So play game and scissors, right? um, so this how we are gonna to work with all of them. Now just like we do it over here, so we just done this much part of our code. Now what we want the result, right? That we basically, the need is that how much you win, how much you lose, all that data you also needed over here. So how would you tackle that? Data is also the main thing, means that win loss, that thing which I have shown to you, that is the main thing over here which we have to tackle using this code base. So right now means just don't mess up much things. Right now it's doing something like this, and on click it will do something, means it should do right now. If you see the inspect, let me do it a dock side inspect, and let me see console. So it will definitely gonna to be undefined because we have not defined our function name play game. So this give us hint to define the function play game. So let me go back to our VS code. Now we enter our JavaScript. So we know why we enter JavaScript, because we want to define our function name play game, right? Play game will be nothing but defining player move, what move it has given. So we have given rock paper scissor move, just like what I have shown to you. Now with player move, what I want, the opponent move. What is the opponent over here? Opponent over here is computer. So I want the move of computer also. So computer move. Now computer move. So how would I get a computer move? Means how randomly can I able to get it? In my question only there is answer by using math.random functionality, but I will not use it randomly. Yeah, for that also we have to create a function. Let it be pick computer move, right? That should be pick computer move. Now your pick computer move, we have to define it over here, that how. Now just like we have defined play game function, we also have to define pick computer move function. Pick computer move function just do simple thing. We don't have to give any argument over here. It just give us the value that what will be the computer move at the end of the day, right? So let it be a random number. Now what I am going to do is, imagine that you have a big line, right? So I will divide that line into parts, something like this, where each part will define rock. Means if a random number will come from this to this part, divide it into equal parts. So if we divide it into 0 to 1 by 3 part, it will be rock. From 1 by 3 to 2 by 3 part, it will be, let's say, Caesar, or I can say paper. And from 2 by 3 to finally 1, so it will be scissors. So this is the logic which we are going to do, and we know that there is a functionality we say is nothing but math.random. Now math.random choose the number from 0 to 1, right? It should be decimal value or anything. So if a number, what we are going to do, if a number lies between 0 to 1 by 3, it will be, we are going to assign a computer move to be rock. Between 2 by 3 to, between 1 by 3 to 2 by 3, we will assign computer move to be paper. And similarly between 2 by 3 to 1, we will assign computer move to be Caesar. So let me define computer move to be nothing right now. Means you have not selected anything, so at the start computer move should be nothing, right? Just like in our website, if you reload the page, for example, over here nothing is shown, right? After clicking it's showing me computer move. So after click we want to get that, so that's why I added nothing over here, means just like a strings. So let's move what going to do. So I will write that if a random number value is greater than equals to 0, just like what I have teach you downside, you can visualize over here. And random number value is less than 1 by 3, then what we want, then we want that computer move should be equals to rock, right? Yes. And similarly, we will use else if condition. In else if, we again write that if random number value is greater than equals to 1 by 3, and oh sorry, yeah, and random number value is less than 2 by 3, then we definitely going to get computer move to be what it is. Yes, it's going to be paper. Similarly, a final else if condition, that if your random number value is greater than equals to 2 by 3, and your random and your random number value is less than 1, then definitely your computer move will be nothing but scissors, right? Yes, it will be scissors. And at the end, you will return what computer move you will get. So, hope you understand our first logic. So, let me delete this. So, this will give us the computer move. Now, after getting computer move, there is a huge code now. We have to check for every condition. Again, let there be the result. Now, what result I am talking about? Let me show you again. Why I have just used a blank ticks over here. Result is this. We have to show this. So before, while reloading, it's nothing. So that's why we ended up getting the backticks over there, right? So let me go back to the our VS Code. So now what I will do, I will just simply use what we use from our childhood. If I have done means, let's say, rock means, if my move, let's say not rock, let me say Caesar, for example. If my move was Caesar, so I will just have three cases over here. If first case is, let me say the computer move will be equals to rock, then what will happen? You can say, right? You can say that computer move will be, you lost, right? Caesar can't win with in front of that rock, right? So it's simple. And similarly, we can end up having same statements for next two conditions. That will be 1 minute, yeah. So next two condition for a better approach, let me just a minute, yeah. So if our computer move, let's say, will be paper, and we know that if there is paper and you have scissor, that you gonna to be win, definitely. But what happens if your computer move is itself a scissors, right? At that point of time, you gonna to be tie. So just have a tie. The similar thing, just the similar thing you have to do for every single case. So I'm not repeating the same thing again and again. I will just make sure to have this code and just look at it. So yes, you can able to edit also your code something like this. Now, just like we done over here, so first, before going over, let me check what our things had been done. Oh, 1 minute, yeah. What the things has been done. So if I click now over here, the you can see that error message had come. But you can also say that nothing is happening on our browser window, nor did in our console. This is because we neither had ended up with console.log, or neither we returning anything over here. So to do that, to return score like this, we have to introduce local storage over here. Now, this is the concept which I want you all to revise. If you don't know local storage, it is very crucial for our upcoming part, right? So why local storage? Because I reset, I done my functionalities, I came the next day, but I want my data to be as it is. So I will get my score to be in a local storage form, right? So let me declare the variable. Now declaring variable should be at the top, right? In coding, you have to declare your variable. You have to initialize variable in JavaScript at the top, because it you can easily able to access. I'm talking about global variables. You can able to easily access, you can easily able to see that what is the main thing over here. So we know that how to get the local storage like things. So let me say, let our score be, first of all, let go from basic, let our score have be an object. So object have three things: wins, for example, let initialize all of them as 0, wins, losses, normal comma, wins, losses, and ties, right? So this is the thing that our score should definitely gonna to have, right? So once we have write this score part, now we want to make changes in score. Like if we gonna to tie, we have to increase the type, means you have to increase the count of tie, you have to increase the count of wins and losses, right? So we will do that in our play game function itself. So what you have to do, that write a if statement. If your result value gonna to be nothing but you win, and after that a single dot, means what, just paste the thing what you have if you are not sure about your typing. So score dot wins, right? It will be equals to plus equals to 1, right? Similarly for else if condition, if your result value will be equals to nothing but you loss, barabar, yes. So now your score dot losses will be plus equals to 1. Similarly, for another else if condition, if your result equals to nothing but tie, then your score dot ties will also be plus equals to 1, right? So now we have ended up getting our scores, and means adding all that scores into our score object. Now we want to integrate it with our local storage, so we know how to do it with local storage. Local storage dot set item, it is a simple thing, set item. You can have a score over here, right? What the thing you have to pass, so you want the score to pass over here, and score means the score will be the variable over here, right? So variable will point out to our json dot stringify. You can only able to pass the value. This is the key. Assume this is the key in our backend, and this is the value, and this value should always be in string format. So right now our score will be in our object format. So to do it in string format, we are writing json.stringify, and inside we are writing score over there, right? So just do this much code and write this much code once and update it. Now next part come is visibility. For example, right now what you can see is visible this course, right? But in our document file you can see it's not visible over here. So how to do that? So to tackle that, again let open our VS Code. In VS Code we will make another function. In that function, let it be update score element, right? Means update score element over here, and let me do that. So for that I have to create a element in our HTML, right? So let me create a HTML, means let me go into our HTML directly, and in that we have to create an element, let's say paragraph element, and in paragraph element your class should be JS. Now there is again a good rule in professional, or I can say in market, when you go in coding market basically, is that by defining the class you have to, a class of JavaScript, you have to just specify JS and then a dash, and then at the end you have to write the normal thing of your choice, right? This is the basic syntax you should follow to declare the things. Like, so we have declared a paragraph over here, and now let go back to our JS file, right? So now in our JS file we want to select this element. So we know how to select the element in JavaScript document dot query selector. In query selector we would write js, again dot js dash score. Many people forget this dot in front of it, right? So remember it, dot js score. So this is where how I selected the element with a class, right? Now what we have to do in it, we want to do inner HTML. We want to change its inner HTML to something like this. Now, always another big rule: always use backticks. Yes, always use backticks if you want your string and your variable to be the part of it. For example, wins, and then I will write how many wins would we get. So it will be with dollar sign. Learn backticks if you don't know it. It is the best thing in JavaScript, which is very useful to learn. So, and your losses will be definitely, let me have some space over here. There should be no space between this, and losses should be, I can say, score dot losses. Yes, and ties would be again score dot ties, right? And at the end, comma, that what it would be. So this is the basic syntax you have to learn, and this is what our update score element would look like, right? So let me go to our this thing and let me look at it. So would it gonna to update it or not? So what the issue over here? The issue is nothing, because we have not, I think so, call the function, right? We have just updated, we have not calling it. So let me just call the function update score element, and let's see what's happening over here now. So again, you can see that you don't able to see any of the your wins, your losses, or anything over here. Let me have, okay. It is showing on a click, right? So we also want to change this. We don't want, means we want to show it on a click, but it's a good thing, means it's working over here right now. It's showing on a click, but we also want it to show like this. 1 minute, yeah. So default means by default it should be shown like this. So it's not something that means when I just reload it, it's just gone. Now I have to click and then it's showing. But you can see how it's working, how different things gonna to work, how computer move and successfully. At least you can say that we have created almost 50 to 70% of our project. Yes, just by looking such a time we have created our most of the project. CS and all that thing is a basic thing. You can do it. You have to do the backend main thing. JS is main for backend, so you have done that thing. Congratulations for that. Have a clap for it. But we want our wins, loses, and ties to be 000 at the start. We have to show that. So what we will do, we will just simply open it and just declare function over here, update score element, right? So by declaring function over here, see, that's what we want. It will going to be the 000, right? And this is the main part of our code, what we want to try it as, right? So till now, what you have managed, till now you have managed creating these three things, this thing. We have not managed of these two things. So why to stop over there? Let's move to our function and create this thing, right? You win, that is the result part, and this emoji part. So for that, again, we have to update our HTML code. So we have given this code, right? And what we want is to add the result part. Now it should be added above this or below this. Let me see. So let us see. So we in this score part is below. So obviously this two part will come above our HTML code, right? Simplify the things as much as possible. So use a paragraph tag, and what's happening, yeah, done. So paragraph class, and in class you will write JS result. Yep. And at the end, what means the same thing what we have discussed till now. And similarly another class, another paragraph tag with a class, say JS moves, right? What moves you have done over here, that is the main thing. So you have declared the two main parts of it. One is moves and another is the result part. So let us first do one thing. Let us first select these two elements. So again, our small brahmastra, that is document dot query selector. Let me select the element .js and .js result, right? This element, let me show you again. Yeah, this element done. And in that, what we have to show, what we have to store, in that we have to store in part, means what we stored over here, this results part, right? So we just simply have to equate it to the result element, right? So it's the simple thing what we have to do. Another thing is the main thing, that is that emoji part. How would you develop that query selector? I will select JS moves over here, right? Again, obviously there will be inner HTML. Now let us see. So here you come, then emoji come, then another emoji come, and computer come. So simple thing, just by looking code we have to do that thing. Again backticks. So what you have to do is, let me first write you, right? And after that, what comes after that comes your image source. Image source will be nothing but images. Go into your images folder, you have to write it on your own. Images folder, what you have to search in images folder, let me open. So in images folder you have to search for player move, your move, right? And then dash emoji, as you can see over here, emoji dot png. Just copy the name as it is, it will be beneficial for you. And let me give it a class, say move icon right now. Okay, so that's the thing. Again, there is image side by side, as we seen there is two emojis, and again computer move, something written like that. Again you will go into images folder. Now you will want your computer move, right? So let me get it. It will be your computer move. It will be again emoji dot png. And your class name would be, let me say, again move icon, right? And after that, what you want? I want computer. Done. So this is the major part of the code which we have written till now. Now let's see with our code what going to happen. Let it be, say, some unexpected things. You may have a question that, sir, it's not going to be shown on our thing like what we have assumed, right? Now that is because you don't have written dot inner HTML, and you have also not written properly the syntax, that is dot over here. So after you write this and open our this, see, it's working. Can you see? So congratulations, you have done the main parts. You have what the things is. Let me show you side by side. Right, you have rock paper scissors, have rock paper scissors, you have these three things, you have these three things, you would able to get it, you win, right? Then similarly the same thing, this reset score and autoplay we will do at the end, what to do with it. But this is the thing, guys, you are making it. Congratulations to you, just like that. CSS is easy, we will do it at the end. So it will not take us much more time, don't worry about that. And yes, so we've done this much things. And before moving to further, let me just, oh yeah, done. Now what the next thing a person should do, the next thing would be that we have stored it in a local storage, but every time we reload a page, our data is gone. For example, I stored in a local storage. This thing means this win and losses. But when I roll it, it becomes 000. So to stop it, what we will do in our code editor, we will just do JSON dot parse, right? And in that, this is the basic thing. Again, you will write get item, right? Get item what? So our variable, that is core, we have declared above, right? So this is the main thing. So after getting this is the showing that you gonna to get the wins, losses and ties. Means it is telling that if you are the first user, let me just decode what these or sign telling. If you are the first time user, so at first time user, your score, your local storage values are not there, right? You have not been touch anything. So at that time your wins, losses and ties will be shown. But once you done with that, your local storage will got updated and directly overcoming this, it will just run this much statement. So that's why we have written or over there. So this much code we have gone, means now let us try that is it working. So this is the thing, and now let me reload. Boom, it's showing the results, right? It's not forwarding our data, and that's what we want, guys. So let's now move to our main part and the most interesting part, that is, let me say, 1 minute, yeah, that is, let me say, this reset score and autoplay. So first let us develop so first let us develop reset score part. So to run reset score, first let me create a button of reset score, right? So let me create a button with let me say text name reset score, right? Let s be small or let it be greater, right? So reset score will be the thing. So we can put it a class for it. Let it be somewhat like, again, reset dash score dash button, right? So this is a class, it should be meaningful. Again, just like above things, on click on buttons we will use on click property over here. And on click, what should happen? Your score dot wins should be equals to 0. Your score dot loses should be equals to 0. Your score dot ties should be equals to 0. Next thing, in local storage, what the score, that variable which you have saved, you have to remove it, right? So you have remove it right now, and we will also have to show it on our desktop that it all being 0. So for that we will call update score element function over here, right? Done. So now let us go with our, yeah, it is 0. How many time I reload again? So now when I reload, it's data as it is, but when I do it, it's going to be 0. So we have used three things over here. First thing, while resetting score, this is the obvious thing which you get. I hope this may not get to you, that remove item. It's simple, means your score array right now, your score object which is stored in local storage right now have some data. So we want to remove that data, right? So for that we have to use remove item. Now again, when you click it, you are going to set item score, so it will going to be automatically updated in your backend local storage. Then update score element, because you have to show the data on the screen, right? That it becomes 000 and all that things, right? So done. We have done 90% of our work. And what remaining is another, I can say, 10%. And for what your most of your video you have been awaited, that is autoplay. That how to do autoplay. For that, let me create a button that is with a class, let's say autoplay dash button, right? And in that also, let me give it a on click property, um, on click property, right? And let me have some function autoplay, some function right now, not defining what it is. Don't worry about that, we will define it, and let it be autoplay, right? Now let me go to our script code once again, and see what's happening. So when you click autoplay, what should happen? When you click autoplay, your 1 minute. Yeah, your you means your move and computer move should work simultaneously. But when you again click autoplay, it should also stop, right? So to do that thing, let me have some boolean variable, right? That when you click autoplay, so is auto playing, right? Let me give it a false because by default it is false, right? Now let me have some function say autoplay, right? Let me have this function over here. Now what you have to do is you have to write this function with if condition, that if my autoplay is false, means if my autoplay is not working and I am clicking on it, that right now it is false. So first of all, what I have to do, if I click over it as it is false, I have to make it true, that now I have click autoplay. Now in autoplay what we have to do, right? So here there comes, I can say, a set interval function. Now, set interval is a special type of functionality which we can say runs your function. Let me show you that set interval. This is the functionality which runs your, here the syntax is, it will run your function at a particular time. Means for example, let's say you have something like this. So if I write set interval function and 1000, means let there be xyz function like fxn, right? So it will run fxn every 1000 milliseconds. Yes, it's 1000 millisecond, means every 1 second. So if I run it, so this what we have to do, means after auto playing we have to run our player move, means we have to run our play game function every second, right? So for that you also want some player move, am I right? You also want some player move. So for right now, let's say, means without worrying much more things, let me just write set interval. So set interval function, and in functionalities which function would you write? Let me say some random function I have to run. Okay, and in random function first I want player move, because now player is not choosing on himself, right? Player is not choosing on itself. So here we have make a function pick computer move, right? In that we are assigning the value, random value to the computer move. Similarly we are assigning a random value to the player move, right? And then we will call play game function. So you again you have your move and your player move function, right? So again you have computer move and player move. Simple thing, we have just give player move a random value by the function pick computer move, which we have declared over here, right? And nothing much more hard things we have done till now. Now to stop the function in set interval, we need a interval id. Yes, right now we have declared the function set interval, but it will run infinitely, right? It will run infinitely, even though if you just for example, let's say your autoplay is working right now, means I have clicked this, right? I have clicked this, so autoplay is working right now. So what happens, even if I click this, means right now it will stop, but assume that I have just clicked this, and even if I click this it will not stop. Why it will not stop? Because you have defined this at interval function, it will run every second. It will, this function, what I am telling is that that this function will run irrespective of your if condition. If you have written if condition and one it's have a green tick, it will run forever. So to stop that, in else condition we have to stop this. So to stop this we have a thing say interval id, right? Interval and id, right? So interval id will give us the id of whole of this function. So what we have to do to stop this, we used to do clear interval, and in clear interval we will store interval id, so that whole function will get removed. And now again our auto playing will be make that false, right? So this is the thing which is very important. Now we also have to declare the interval ID because we have used it. So let me explain you once again what we have done till now. We have created a function autoplay. Now when there is false, right? So false and there is not operator, so it becomes true. So now your autoplay will become true. Now you want a particular function. What the function is doing, you want the player move to be decided every second, right? So yeah, we have to give the time, right? So let be 1000 millisecond. So you want your player move to be decided every second, right? So pick computer move, that will be the player move, and you have defined your call a function play game, and play game will also have the player move right over here. And afterward, if you want to stop it, so you have to clear the interval. We get the interval id by equating it to the set interval function, and to clear the interval we have used clear interval function with interval id, and finally we are doing it with is autoplaying to false. So now let's move to our project. So this is the whole thing which we have worked. So let's first start with autoplay. Is it working or not? Boom! It's seriously working, right? So this how we created whole project. Now what matter is nothing. Easy peasy part, right? That is our CSS. So let me write the CSS. In CSS, always remember to have some body things, like means what is basic. Now basic thing is that we want some color. Let it be what I specifically use over here is this color, means it's, you can say it's black, right? And I want the text to be in white color, it will look good. And I want font family to be Arial over here, right? So may have some modification looking good. And now we are working with title, right? We are working with title, which we have written, let me, yeah, over here. So let me go with the title. So dot title, and in title what we are going to do, font size. So font size of title, let it be 30 pixel. Now font weight, why, how can I know this? See, it's simple. Let me show you. You can know this by looking. Now, many times when copying big websites, what you have to do? You have to just click this arrow and just click over here. Now in title, what do you see? You can see they have font size of 30 pixel. They have used bold. Means obviously it should be bigger size and you want it in a bold text, so that's why we have done something like that. So same thing we have to do. Now we have to use this class move icon, right? We have to, right now it's something like this rectangular. Oh, let me just stop this. So it stopped, right? So we want it in this circle shape, right? So how to do that? So let me again call our, means open our style.css. So let me select move icon over here, and in move icon let the height be 50 pixel. Why the height be 50 pixel? Because I want this to look small. Why to look small? Because this is also small. Now it's the time of comparison. So let me show you. Yeah. Now it's the time of comparison. So you can see the size is at least matching if you have to just change the background color of these images and to make it square shape. You can see at least this thing has match, right? This much thing has match. So it will be done. Means we have to just give it a time. So now again, we have done this, but we have not create a class for a button, right? So let us create a class for a button. So let me create it over yeah, over here we have no class for button tag. So class for button will be nothing but move button, right? Similarly over here class will be move button. Similarly over here again class will be move button. Now we're gonna to edit it. So what we're gonna to do, move button, right? And in move button again, just we have to do the same thing. First of all, we know that in move button we want this black background. So how would you get that background, right? Now let me just keep it over here. So how would you get, okay, let me do one thing, just keep it over here. And yeah, so how would you get this black background over here, just like in the back? So background color will be, let's say, transparent. You can also select it as black, but I suggest you to do transparent, because in that case only this much part would change. Otherwise whole of this image will gonna to be lost, right? So background color will be transparent. If I don't do that, then if I just put it black, then whole of this emoji will gonna to be lost. So border, now the main thing starts. We see border, white border, so 3 pixel, let it be solid. This the random things, just try new things. Border, let it be 3 pixel solid white. I assume weight to be around 130 pixel, right? And height also around, let's say, 130 pixel. Just assumption, you can also take it as 120, 110, 100. You do try and error. I just try and error, and I don't like to waste time on CSS, so that's why I'm just giving the values directly. Border radius, because we want it as circle, we will just put it as we can say half of it. That is, what is half of this will be 65 pixel, right? So enter it. Then margin, now we want a space between these two, right? So margin right will be 10 pixel, means this space I'm talking about, this one between these two elements. And cursor, what is this cursor? Means when I'm going, see, it become this, here it's arrow and here it's become cursor, so it becomes pointer, right? And now finally, so let's check what's our that old website would look like. 1 minute, where it had been gone. Yeah, see. This is not that website. Means if you say, yeah, now you can able to get the difference. The one with 37 losses is the website we are working on right now. See, you can code these and you can also see this. So right now you can say most of the thing has been done. Your this just tie, you have to make this bold. This thing has done, you have to add some space over here, and you have to just tackle this button. Okay, done. So let's start to do that. So you know that this is what we have make it with result, right? Result CSS. So in result again, let the same thing occur. Font, yeah, font size would be, let's say, 25 pixel, right? Font weight should be, let's say, bold. Then margin top would be, let's say, 50 pixel. Okay, so this is of result. Then let me go for score, that is this score, right? So score, you can also say it like this, right? So score margin top, yeah, margin top means this is the score we are talking about over here. We want the margin top dash top to be 60 pixel space at least. And now we want to make edit in our reset score button and our auto play button, right? So let the background color again to be white, right? And because it's showing like that, and border, let's say none, because you can see that there is no border over here. Font size, I can say, let it be again 15 or 10 pixel, not bigger than that, it would be probably. If I add padding over here, padding is the space from border and the content. So 18 pixel and 15 pixel, this will 8 pixel will add from top and bottom, 15 pixel will add from left and right in both of these cases. Again, this should be no space. Again, cursor should be pointer. Done. Damn done. This is the code. This is the thing which I have made earlier. Now, let me open it with our HTML part. So here is go live. Hope so everything will run cleanly, and it is. Let me reload. Let me just have a reset score. Yeah, damn, it working amazingly. Yeah, and again reset score let to be 0, and I have some autoplay functionalities over here. So you can see it's working. Yes, it's definitely working. And now what you can see is that I think so tie has not been edited properly. So let me just look at my result one, and I think so, yeah. Over here we have to add two things, that is our result class. I think so, yes. We have just directly used the result. I assume that I have just declared, but I haven't. And for score also we have to declare it something like this. So let me minimize it. Yep, and let's start autoplay. See, it's similar. Now you can see your project. So in this project you learn many things about set interval, how interval works, how autoplay works. You also learn that sometimes the project look big, but the logic behind is it's very simple. You have made many functions, many means two to three, but a big ones. You try to make big computer move, update score element, then player move, sorry, player game, and all that thing. You have used local storage and all that things. So hope you like this video. Also, from next time there would be the more duration of the video because the projects are going to be higher. Don't focus on duration if you want to learn something. Focus on what you are learning right now. That is the main thing. Right now you may not get many things in this project. That doesn't mean that there are flaws in learning. That means that you have to learn that things on your own. There is nothing like spoon feeding, right? So here we are that you just learn your things. We force you to apply that things. So thank you, and hope to meet you all soon.